For an extended period, the Shearer family's car lay dormant in the shed, becoming a home to various creatures while slowly succumbing to rust and decay. Its days of serving as transportation had long passed. Interestingly, the Shearers remained unaware of a crucial fact. Their old, inactive car held significant value. Had the family recognized the substantial worth of this battered vehicle, they might have treated it more attentively. However, as events unfolded, they continued to store it for an extended period. Consequently, it became a haven for various critters and accumulated years' worth of debris. The car arrived into the Shearers' lives a long time ago. The family patriarch, Daryl, had purchased the vehicle and gifted it to his spouse Vivian. It was Vivian who drove the thing more than anyone else, using it to do the school run and to get wherever else she needed to be. But even though the car had been used for the most everyday of tasks, it was always clear it was something special. It was sleek and sporty, and it definitely looked quite a bit cooler than other families' cars. All the local children had wanted the chance to hop inside for a spin. In later years, though, the car fell into disrepair. In 2006, Vivian passed away, and her husband soon made the decision to move house. He took the car with him, but he placed it in storage inside his new property's shed. There it stayed, succumbing to the ravages of time. Daryl had always intended to work on the old car and give it a new lease of life. Unfortunately, he'd never got around to it. He passed away at the end of 2021, leaving this old rusty car behind him. Now it was down to his kids to deal with the vehicle, and they were in for a shock. As family cars go, this one was definitely unusual. It was a Holden HK Monero GTS 327 Bathurst, dating back to 1968. It was capable of transporting the Shearers from point A to point B, but it could also reach some incredible speeds if asked. According to one test, such vehicles could hit 124 miles per hour. We might tend to think of 60s muscle cars like this HK Monero as being American, but this vehicle came from down under. Australia also produced its own range of muscle cars, and this one was up there with the best. It might not have necessarily been as fast as some of its American equivalents of the era, but it was still special. The HK Monero, then, was quite an audacious selection for a family car. But it seems Daryl Shearer had wanted the very best when he picked this vehicle up all those years ago. It was, after all, a special purchase for him, as his daughter Nolene Schultz explained to British newspaper The Guardian in June 2022. Once she got the keys, Vivian drove her new car here, there, and everywhere. She was even known to take the area's children on school trips whenever it was necessary. As her daughter Nolene said, it was Mum's car. She took it everywhere. She was the main driver of it. As mentioned, the car's fortunes took a turn in 2006 after its main driver, Vivian, passed away. Daryl kept hold of the vehicle, always with the intention of fixing it up and getting it back to its best. Life, it seems, got in the way, though, and those restoration works never came to fruition. After his wife's death, Daryl upped sticks and moved to the edge of Bundaberg. He had a bit of land out there, plus there was a shed. He left the car inside there for storage, always intent on working on it again. That never happened, sadly, and in 2021 he passed away at the ripe old age of 82. The conditions inside the shed weren't exactly ideal. The car eventually came to be covered with empty cereal sacks, and animals moved in and made it their home. Dirt and grime covered the exterior, and by 2022 the engine couldn't have been in good nick either. Nobody had fired it up in 16 years after all. They reached out to Bill Young, who plies his trade as an auctioneer. Bill's expert eye could still see potential in this old banged-up car. He said, "It hadn't run in 16 years, and we were told to leave it like that for the auction, so it was covered in dust and dirt, but it was all intact, and that's what made it special." Despite its poor shape, the car was definitely worth something. Bill had an inkling it would sell for something like $50,000, maybe as much as $80,000. These are Australian dollars, of course. As things played out, though, it became clear that Bill's estimate was off, way off. Once he started advertising the car, it became clear it was generating quite a bit of interest. With that, the auctioneer reassessed his figures, now landing on an expected sale price of the $120,000, a hefty sum, but even this would be proven wrong. Somewhere between 300 and 400 people got in touch with Bill to express an interest in the car. Most of these people were based in major Australian cities, but one was actually from China. This old car had attracted global interest, and its eventual selling price reflected the demand. In the end, it went for $200,000. The family were flabbergasted. But why was this car worth so much money? Why did someone shell out $200,000 to own it? Well, this car, the 1968 Holden HK GTS Monero 327, once won at Bathurst, a famous 620-mile-long race that takes place in New South Wales each year. This car was the first ever Monero to take first prize, making it a true collector's item. The Shearer family had always recognized that their car was special, but they had never comprehended the full extent of its value. In a surprising turn of events, their old, unused car recently sold for an astonishing sum of money. One family member remarked, "We knew it would be remarkable, but we never anticipated it would fetch such a high price. We are absolutely thrilled with the outcome." As for Young, the auctioneer, he is equally delighted by this unexpected development. After all, in his 25 years of auctioneering, he had never overseen a sale of this magnitude. Reflecting on the situation, he commented, "It was just a family car, primarily used for driving the kids to school. What we initially thought was worth next to nothing ended up selling for $200,000. Young's surprise at the tremendous interest and the car's final selling price was evident, but he was clearly pleased with the outcome.